Batra Daf Mem Her Amud Aleph 17 lines down. Motiv Rav Hamnuna. Rav Hamnuna had a question. Lakach mesikre kon. If someone bought a property from someone who extorts properties, say like a mafia guy forced someone to sell them, and you bought it from him. The hazava lakach mipalabait mechhabatel. And then you go and you buy it from the original owner. So you bought it from this guy, the mafia guy. You paid him off. Then you go to the original owner and say, "Hey, I bought it from the extortionist. I'm going to pay you as well." It's not a good acquisition. Bamai, how come it doesn't work? Maybe you say the same way you said earlier, Rav Huna said. Rav Huna said earlier that because of your under distress or duress, you're getting forced to do something, you hand over the ownership. So it goes here, how come it doesn't pass over? Gemara says, we said earlier, tell me why he's batel. It's only if the guy said, okay, go take the land. But he doesn't write a document. But if he does write a document, then you know he transfers the property and you are konet. Shmuel says that not even a document helps. What does he say? Shmuel says that if you gave money to the owner, then it's good purchase. Gemara says Bibi held that that if the robber, even if the guy pays the money, the property does not go to the robber, and you have to refund the robber. Michael Imar, how come over there you paid money and you still didn't acquire it? The Gemara says Rabbi Mimrahu. Rabbi is Amora regarding Rav Nachman, Umimra the Rav Huna, and therefore he can argue, and therefore it's not a question against Rav Nachman. Rav Huna. Okay, if someone hung up someone else or pressured him or put him in distress to sell something, it's a good sale, like Rav Huna said. But Amran Ella, that only applies if he says I'm buying a field. Here's $1,000, here's $1 million, I'm taking a field, and the owner hands him a certain field. But if he said I'm taking this field A, then it's not a good sale. And that only applies is that it's not a good sale only where the guy didn't count the money afterward. They threw him an envelope and he's like, no, I don't want it. But if he counted the flus, if he counted the money after he got it, then it looks like a good sale. And also, it doesnn't count if he wasn't able to stop it, if he couldn't evade them, he couldn't drive away. Rashbam actually gives the famous excuse, let me ask my wife. It says it, that it's a good excuse. He should have said, oh, let me ask my wife if I could do it. He could have avoided it. But if he was able to avoid it, then it's not a good sale. Then it is a good sale because he should have avoided it. According to Ravado, against Ravado, what I'm saying halacha is all of them are good sales. Even if they demanded a certain field. Because this field A, demanding field A, is like similarly demanding a woman to marry you. And halacha is Amar Mimar, you shouldn't kedushin. Mimar said that if you hang a woman up, if you force a woman to marry you and she says yes, then you're considered married even if it's forced. In the case of a woman, it's not a good kiddushin. Why? He acted improperly by forcing her to marry him. Therefore, it was a famous concept that Hachamim can go beyond the normal boundaries and also, quote unquote, act improperly with him, like pull the rug out of his feet. And Hachamim can undo the kiddushin from him. The other one says, that makes sense. If you married her with money, then you can undo the money transfer. But the problem is, if he forced her to have he lived with her, and therefore that was his method of kiddushin, like we see in Masechet Kiddushin, that you can be mekadesh with bi'ah. Where I said, he answers him back. Hachamim can uproot that bi'ah instead of bi'ah of kiddushin cohabiting for kiddushin. They could undo it and just have it as a non-marriage bi'ah, and therefore it's not there's not married. Hachamim have that power. Now, Tabi hung Papi on a tree until he forced him to sell him something. Rabba signed a moda'ad, a notification letter that someone writes if they don't want to sell somebody something, but then be pressured into it. So he signed on the document that the guy doesn't want to sell it. And he also signed the document of sale, meaning he did both sides. He signed the notification, like Papi knew this is going to get forced. I don't want to sell this. He signed that, then he quote unquote signed the sale property, which obviously he didn't want to do. Someone who signed the notification that nullifies the sale, and if he signs the sale document, it's also good. Now, obviously, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean? If it's a good notification, then there's no sale. And if it's a good sale, then there's no notification. So what does that mean? Hachi, come on, the rest is nullifying. If it wasn't for notification, if he sold the signed document, the sale document, it would have been good enough, and therefore we would have no reason to say that it's not a good sale. Rav Huna goes according to Rav Huna, because he holds that in general, without a notification, a forced sale is a good sale. Now the problem is, we see Rav Huna said that signing a notification document can supersede the sale and stop the sale. The one says, if Adim testified on a document, a loan document, Reuven brings the document to Betin, seemingly saying Shimon borrowed money from him and now he owes him money. The Adim said, yes, we signed the document. Then afterward, the Adim come and say, that was a trust document. We never witnessed the loan. What's a trust document? Trust document means Shimon, before borrowing the money, will sign and have Adim sign that he's borrowing money from Reuven. Sometimes they'll do that to make things smoother. Sometimes that's the only way people will handle things. And it's a trust document saying, until I actually get the money that I borrow, I'm trusting you not to demand money from me. So over here, Edim say, oh, by the way, that this document was a trust document. Maybe he doesn't owe money. They're not believed because they're not believed because the document is a good document. Now these two witnesses are gonna come and try to uproot the document. We don't believe them. Also, they also say that a testimony by a Edim regarding a sale, that there was a notification made beforehand, they're also not believed. So we see Rav Huna says that you're not believing a notification document to uproot a sale. The Gemara says, "Hanimi la'apeh." Only time when they testify or via the by heart, yani that document. Because by notification you can't have a notification come and uproot a physical document. That's a much better document. But regarding a document that comes before the sale, in our case, there was a document that had the notification made about that he doesn't want to do the sale. That document can uproot the sale document, but if they just testify about it, that's not good enough. Gufa, we said earlier, regarding a trust document, the Edim are not believed to say that it was a trust document, and therefore we have to assume that the lending happened. He also said that the notification doesn't work as well. Rav Ashi says, notification is not good enough to uproot the sale, like he agrees, but he disagrees over here. A notification. Sorry, the trust, my mistake. He agrees to Nachman that a trust does not trust that Edim testifying on trust does not uproot the loan document, but a notification does uproot the sale. Why? Because a sale document is made to come after the notification. Yani, if you made a notification beforehand, it makes sense. And therefore, that's the way things work. You make a notification before you make the sale to supersede the sale, to stop the sale from happening. But a loan document over here, the guy messed up. Even if he is not the normal way things happen. No one's supposed to write a document unless you borrow the money already. And therefore we don't have a reason to believe that this was a trust document because it's self-incriminating that you signed a document that didn't happen. Next part of the Mishnah said, a man can establish hazakah in the property of his wife. The Gemara says, of course not. Because the guy had access to his wife's property. He's eating his wife's property. So the woman comes into the property with an orange tree and he's eating oranges. He can't say, oh, I made a hazakah, because we know he has access to the oranges. There's no reason for her to protest, and therefore you can't have hazakah. So of course a man can't do it. The Gemara says, no, the hidush is the husband wrote a document saying, I don't claim or argue anything in your property. I don't want nothing to do with your property. Like I don't know, like a prenup. I'm not touching your property when we get married. Even in that case, if he waives it right, he still can't make a hazakah. The Gemara says, what's the difference? He wrote it. But the brother says, we said, what's the hidush? We already know that. If a person says to someone else, right? I don't want anything to do with your stuff, this field. I don't want any business with you. I don't, my hands are withdrawn from this thing that we own together. It doesn't work. So we see that over here as well. The husband who says that I'm removed from your orange tree, it shouldn't work regardless. So still, what's the hidush of saying that the man can't make a hazakah? Gemara says, he wrote this document while they were in Erusin, before they had Nisun, before they got fully married. He didn't get her rights yet. Then he's able to. Rav Kana, like Rahana said, Rav Kana holds. Regarding to inheritance or access to something from a third party source, not a Doraita source, like a father to son inheritance is a Doraita. If someone's getting sourced something that's may owned him through Hachamim, a person can make a condition before it happens that he won't accept it. Rabbi holds. Whoever says I don't want the takana Hachamim, the Hachamim's rule for my benefit, Kagon Zot regarding this, I'll explain. Shamino, we listen to him, and therefore he doesn't get it. Zot, my Zot, my Kagon Zot, what do you mean this? A woman in general has access to her husband's income, and she has to work for him, whatever he wants her to do. Over here, though, like we're saying, a woman can say, I don't want access to my income, to my husband's income. She can avoid the takanat ha'hamim that's made for her benefit, and therefore she could say, I don't want your stuff and I don't have to work for you. So to over here, the man wants to write it in his edus while they're still engaged, before he has access to it, that he doesn't want access to her orange tree when they get married, they can do that. And the Mishnah's Hidush is, even if he does that, he still can't make a hazakah.